All right, g'day. I'm Sam, and
I'm Jack, and recently we ran 488 kilometres from the Victorian border to the MCG to watch the grand final, all the while raising money for Connectivity TBI to raise awareness about concussions in sport.
it started with the idea of we really want to go and see the grand final. We want to watch it. We don't necessarily have the ability or the funds just to buy tickets because it's one of those things you sort of got to be in a lottery for, and we weren't. We also are quite active and do like running, and this light bulb moment popped up in my head at about 9 o'clock at night while I was in bed with my girlfriend, unable to sleep, that we can raise a bit of awareness and raise some money, and I reckon we can run there. So I gave Jack a ring, and we were on the phone for about 5 minutes before, that's it, we're going to do it. We're going to decide that this is how we're going to go about it and make it happen.
That's the funny bit. We didn't do much. We had a bit of fitness because we just finished the season of footy. So we went for one training run. We ran 50 kilometres on a Saturday afternoon. Stopped at a friend's daughter's birthday party, had some cupcakes,
Fairy bread,
and kept on running. We, did that sort of 50 kilometres in a pretty easy effort with a good time frame. So we assumed we could tack on another 20 a day for 8 days, and that's all that we needed to do really to get to Melbourne in time to watch the grand final. So that gave us enough confidence. I didn't feel too sore the next day. So we figured we'd give it a shot. We just knew it would take a lot more mental strength than it would physical strength, I think, and we backed ourselves in.
I think it was literally 11 days from when we first decided that we're going to see if we can map out and run to Melbourne.
Yeah, one training run and then a week of tapering and we were off.
After that first initial conversation about it, the next day I went over to Jack's house and he's got the towns and the Ks between laid out. I told 2 or 3 people about our idea and they went, yeah, well, there's no one else I could possibly think of that'd be able to do it other than you guys, so you're crazy, but yeah, I reckon you will do it. And yeah, it was not much longer than a week after the first thought that we could set off and do it, and we did.
You know what my favourite part of training was? I really liked carb loading. So carb loading, for those who don't know, is where you increase your intake of carbohydrates so you can sustain your energy for longer, which was sick. We just had a bottle of chocolate milk, like a 2-litre bottle of chocolate milk each day.
Every
day. For the
day.
5 days leading up, and just so much rice and pasta. That was the best bit. And then we could eat heaps of food while we're running, or we had to eat heaps of food.
Yeah, you have to.
So we got lots of pastas. I love food. So
we didn't necessarily plan it the best and we didn't do any nutritional research. We just figured pasta and pizza is full of carbs. So we were going through 2 or 3 large pizzas and a family pasta each day during the run, and then 2 or 3 dinners each night, and at least 2 litres of chocolate milk between us every day. Just putting everything in. People are like, how can you do it like that? So, well, you have to put nutrients in. So we know that stuff's got some nutrients in it, so we're just going to put that in and burn it off.
Yeah, because we weren't eating much solid food while we were running on the first few days. That's why day 3 I just passed out, I think. And after that, I found it much better to run on a full stomach than to run myself into the ground.
Ongoing symptoms for Jack and more knowledge about the thing for me, and it's a pretty big talking point around sport these days. And we thought with both of our experiences from what had happened and where we come from, a small town, that we can raise a lot more awareness about it. It wasn't necessarily all about the money type of thing, it was more about awareness and push yourself to get there and do it for a really good cause. You guys jumped on board and we went for it.
It's quite funny. I was shocked with the amount of support we got. Very few people doubted us, which is really nice. I preferred those who did because it sort of gave me a bit of extra motivation, but most people were just like, yeah, you boys are crazy, go on. And yeah, that spurred us on a lot. It was really nice. our initial goal was like $1,000, and Sam was like, "Nah, we can do better than that." So we set it at $5,000, and straight away, like, just our local community, the footy club and the opposing footy clubs we play against, backed us in, and then all the townsfolk that we know, Sam works with, I work with, we're on board backing us. So that's one of the great things about living in a small town in New South Wales, is that, you know, the small community is really nice and supportive.
Oh, surprised and confused in a lot of towns as to why these two dudes have just come sweaty and running into the hotel or the pub at 7 o'clock at night, unable to walk. What's going on here? And then places like Swan Reach and Orbost and little country towns that we stop at, telling them what we're doing, and the surprising reaction for most of them was like, one, yous are crazy, there's no way I could even run to the end of the street, and two, what yous are doing is amazing. Most places gave us like dinner for free, cheaper accommodation, a lot of support, followed our page, shared us on their pages, sort of thing, and an overwhelming amount of people jumped on board with support once we'd started. It was like a snowball effect, and it just kept getting bigger and bigger to like day 2, 3, 4, we're getting phone calls from Melbourne radio stations just wanting to talk to us about why and what we're doing, and it all just took off really fast once we started running.
We got into Stratford at 5 in the afternoon, and the bartender was like, "You're just running on the highway with your shirts off." And we were like, "Yeah." She's like, "But that was 40 k's down the road." I was like, "Yeah, we jogged here." And
Where are you going to? It's to the MCG.
Yeah, so there was a lot of those conversations where they were just like, "What is going on here?"
For me, the first 10 k's from the border towards Cairn River is really beautiful. It was a bit cold. It was I think we left at 6 o'clock in the morning. I was feeling a bit dusty because I had my footy presentation the night before, so it probably wasn't the best lead up to running a 65k day, but it's what we said. Everyone says you must be so fit. A lot of it's not fitness, it's mental strength to keep going. So for me, the two big standouts was the first sort of 10, 15 k's to run was just the overwhelming sensation of, all right, this is on now. This is what we're going to have to do for the next couple of days. And then arriving at the MCG, we had friends and family there, and a whole hell lot of people that we'd never met that had heard about what we're doing that were there waiting, which was a sensation of, really happy that we'd just done it, and that overwhelming sensation of, we did it. We actually made it.
And I liked, I think it was day 5. Day 5, we were running through an area around out of Stratford, Maffra, on the Gippsland Rail Trail. So when you run to Melbourne, you spend a lot of time on the highway, which is, 1, scary because you're on the shoulder dodging trucks and stuff, and 2, pretty boring and hot. So around Maffra, there's the Gippsland Rail Trail, which is off the highway, and it's covered with trees, and it was an overcast day. It was a little bit rainy. That was much nicer. I think that was the most enjoyable day. Yeah, for me, that low point was definitely coming into Barnsdale, the start of day 3, and I just passed out. I don't even remember it. I was telling Sam that I'd eaten heaps, and I was getting angry at him for trying to feed me, and he's like, "Mate, you haven't eaten or drank anything all day." And I had no idea what was going on. I made it about maybe 900 metres after that point and just fell over. And
I had to call Mum, we're just up the road from where we just saw you. You have to come back and pick Jack up. He's on the ground. He's pale as anything. He won't respond. He needs to sit down and have some chocky milk and revitalise. He's no good.
That's all it took, though. I slept for about an hour, ate a family block of chocolate, and still cleared 60 kilometres that day. So it was a low light, but it was sort of the hill I had to get over. It was enjoyable after that. What was yours, Sammy?
For me, it would have been 2 days after that, just out of, I think it's Lee and Gatha. My left ankle was bigger than what my calf is at the moment, which isn't very big, but it was so blown up and swollen I couldn't put basically any weight on it at all. I had to call James, our good friend, tattoo artist and support driver for half of it to come and pick me up. And instead of pulling the pin on it, I decided to just take me to Pakenham and I'll buy some crutches from the chemist and get dropped off back at where Jack is. And I got 45 Ks in on crutches that day. There's not much I can't do. If I set my mind to something, I'm going to achieve it one way or another. It's a big eye opener as a person to know that you can push yourself to those limits and beyond it day in, day out for 3, 4, 5 days with, ongoing injuries and pain and 90% of your body going, don't do this again, don't do it again, waking up in a pool of water and sweat every night and then still having the mental strength to go, no, do it again, go again. And 5Ks in, laughing and joking with each other about what we're doing and we're going to make it.
Yeah, my takeaway would be pretty similar. I think it's amazing what the human body can endure. I did not believe that I could do it. Setting off, I was just there to see how far I could go with Sammy, and each day you'd wake up and go, I can't believe that I'm going to do it again. And you just can. If you push yourself to it and commit to doing something, you can do it, which was really, really awesome because I didn't believe that it was possible before doing that. I think it's the most amazing thing that I've ever done, and I really learned a lot about myself. Nah, I think the run was first and foremost for us to see if we could do it. We like running and we wanted to see how far we could go, and then the afterthought is what is most near and dear to us in form of charity, because we've done things like this before, not to the same extent, and people are like, you should be raising money if you're going to go do this stupid crap. And we were like, yeah, they're probably right. And so we had to think about it, and we think that what is most important to us in our small little world at that time was concussions and, awareness around sporting injuries, traumatic brain injuries in all shapes and sizes. I was really interested in how we could sort of help support other people in similar situations. Exactly. So I can't play footy anymore, but I can still do all these things that make me happy. And I know that run made me happier than, it's akin to winning the premiership. And it's something you can do with friends as well. So, that's an off-putting thing about not being able to play team sports. One of the elements about it is team sport. You get the camaraderie and you get to go out with your friends and do all this. But you can run with your friends like Sam and I ran. Yeah. You can achieve great things. So it is a lesson for me that, retiring from contact sport isn't the end all. There's still a lot of life to be lived.
We turned up and there's these big cameras with these film crews and a big round of applause and bottles of water and hugs and the joy. And yeah, I think for the first 3 or 4 minutes, me and Jack just hugged each other and laughed and didn't really talk to anyone but couldn't answer any questions. And then just went, all right, can we stand here comfortably, please? And we'll talk now. But this is an amazing feeling. And no, it was great. I don't think I'll ever get a feeling like that again. If I run further, go to something bigger, do something more extravagant, I don't think anything will get that feeling of the first massive sensation of what we just achieved. Yeah, it was really overwhelming sensation sitting in the car, driving home, looking out the window along the highway, just going, we ran this everywhere, this whole thing, we ran it. And then taking a whole day to drive home going, geez, that's a long drive, let alone run. Just keep trying, keep pushing yourself, keep believing that you can achieve things. If you set out to do something and you don't quite do it, don't give up, keep going, try something else, take a different approach. It does feel good achieving things like that and push yourself because you can do it.